and they're off. Let's bring it on. We have e4, e5, and this is the most common of openings. We call this this is the Berlin variation. The Berlin variation in Berlin. That's got to be appropriate, Ivanka.
Yeah, and often with the Berlin variation, we were talking about Berlin draws, but here we will not see that particular line because Sam is a very fighting player. He doesn't believe in short draws. He doesn't approve of it, and instead he's like, nope, this game is going to be a fight, and there we see. White has struck out already in the center.
Yes, and again, the advantage of having white is that you can put a little bit of pressure on your opponent. Some players prefer playing with the black pieces. They're mad, but they prefer playing because they are more the counter-attacking kind of player. I like playing with the white pieces because I like taking the initiative. The best form of defense is attack, after all. And going now to our digital board, what are the heart rates like? Well, Wesley's a little bit lower, but he's still really high, Ivanka.
And talking about someone who has risen is Sam. You know, last game we saw him consistently in 85 in his comfort zone, and now it's risen to 101, which means that perhaps he was surprised. He hasn't been expecting this, and now he's on his own freestyling.
Yeah, I mean, again, look at the knights. This is, so far in the Armageddon series, a bit of a picture about the knights. They're all huddling right in the middle of the board. They're quite pretty. Do you think they're friends there, Ivanka? Do you think they're friends?
Most certainly not.
You don't think? I don't think they are either, but they seem to be like all saying, I want that square. No, I want that square. I want the center of the board. And I do prefer white's knights at this moment in time, but another thing we should point out, one side is a pawn up here. If we just count the material, we can see that black actually has an extra pawn. But the thing that's maybe a little bit worrying is those white knights. Compensation?
Definitely compensation, but he has to strike now. I mean, he has to generate something. I mean, it could be the queen coming out to h5 and start tickling. And I'm just also wondering, is there any sacrificing?
Oh, wow. Oh, no. I thought the other knight was going to come in and take that pawn.
Exactly, I thought he was going to take that pawn and launch an attack, but it hasn't happened.
A little bit of a shame there, I think, because like we saw in the last game, the more pieces that get exchanged off, maybe the more drawish it gets, but Sam is still throwing the piece out. He's put himself in a fork. Why has he done that? The bishop's moved out and that black pawn is attacking two pieces, like a fork. You use a fork, it has a couple of prongs on it, and that move that black's played is attacking the knight and the bishop. I expect white can get out of this by keeping the action going and capturing a piece, Ivanka.
Yeah, I expect that too. He's either going to give a check, as he's done now, or he's going to go knight takes knight. I wasn't sure about this move because it does invite black to actually block that check with his pawn and liberate his own light square bishop.
Ivanka, how many pieces, how many white pieces on pre? There's 3 pieces on pre. Okay, now only 2 pieces. The knight has captured the knight. It's very, very tactical here.
It is, and we see some clever exchanges from Wesley, who's traded rooks just to displace the white queen. Put her on the e1 where she's actually not threatening anything. And once again, white has to deal with these two bishops.
Did you see that?
Attack.
Did you see that? Sam had a little shake of his head. I mean, body language is so important. You can often tell when someone's not happy, and you can see that Wesley has gone into the zone. There's another little shake of the head. They say there's not really many emotions in chess, but you're seeing it now. You're seeing it with the heart rate. And look at Sam's heart rate go up. It is going up. He realizes that his bishops are in trouble. He has to counterattack, and he's done that by bringing the rook into the center, Ivanka.
Yeah, this is a nice move from Sam. You know, he's coming armed with all the tactics. The whole idea is that if you were to take the bishop, the rook would capture the knight, and there would be some back rank issues for the black king. And
this
Wesley,
last move's nice though. Lovely move. Lovely move.
They're so good at calculation. You know, they spot every single resource. And he's like, fine, I will capture that pawn, attack the queen. And how many pieces are on pre's in this particular
Well, I was thinking, Ivanka, if black could attack the white rook, every single white piece would be attacked. He has to move his queen now. I'm like, what is that move? Oh my words. That is the most ridiculous move I've seen today. He puts his queen in. He loves getting forked. He does. He loves getting forked. He's done it again. But you can't take the queen here, Ivanka. Why can't you take the queen with the pawn?
Yeah, you can't take it because it's pinned. As simple as that. And now, I mean, actually we just saw Sam's heart rate just sink down. It was like, aha, I like this move. He's in his comfort zone now. And we see Wesley capture the bishop, and we see queen takes knight on the board. Still very, very unbalanced position. The players, not so much time for Sam Shankland, just under 40 seconds.
This has been a really tactical game. I mean, there's two ways that people say you can play chess. By slow maneuvers, we kind of saw that in the first game, or by very aggressive attacking, and we're seeing that in this game. If we, again, now is slowed down slightly because there's not too many threats on the board, but we can see that black is one pawn up. So now Wesley would like to get to the ending because the extra pawns really count in the ending. If he can, there's a great chance Wesley will win this game. The queen's come out. Sam's also down to 30 seconds here, Jovanka. It's not looking great for Sam now.
It's certainly not. I love the queen move that Wesley's played, you know, just to put the queen next to the king so it gets ready for defensive maneuvers if need be. And look at him again, you know, he is so solid. He's just saying, let's trade off queens. Sam says no, but then puts his queen all the way back to f2. That's just passive. That's a negative decision. And Wesley comes forward with the pawns.
I mean, look at those black pawns in the middle of the board. When you've got an extra pawn, you should use it. And we say that a passed pawn is a pawn where there's not really an opposing pawn in that way. And the pawn in front of black's queen is a passed pawn. If you get a pawn to the other end of the board, you get a queen. So it's very possible that could happen in this game. I don't like Sam's chances. He's going to have to really fight here. 16 seconds, keep an eye on the clock. They're so cool with so little time, though.
But I think we're seeing some mistakes. We see Sam getting a bit flustered because is there some back rank issues there already?
Well, Wesley is calculating deeply about what to do here, and he could have gone straight in with the queen. He moves it back. That queen, which square's it on? A little bit of a loose move there. Put it on the square it's supposed to be on. Sam makes an escape square for his king. And I think Wesley, you know, we do call him so solid, so is playing with that in mind, just keeping things under control, Jovanka.
Yeah, he is certainly, and he's improved his rook, and now he's maximizing his queen, and Sam has just been forced to put his bishop on its starting square. This is not good news. He's just shuffling the pieces so as he can gain more time. And Sam would love a repetition, but Wesley is saying, no, thank you. Instead, I'm going to try to soften up those pawns there against your king.
And obviously a repetition, if you repeat the same position 3 times. Oh, hang on a minute, we have a result. I think he's just blundered. Sam has just blundered. Look at the emotion there. He just took a pawn with his rook, not realizing that So could just take that rook. He blundered a whole rook. You never see that at this level. It's basically a beginner's mistake. But he was under so much pressure, Jovanka.
Yeah, I mean, psychologically as well, those moves are so difficult to spot. You know, moving the queen backwards. I mean, that's just psychologically very hard. And as you say, Sam was on the back foot for a lot of that game.